Welcome, welcome to another exciting episode of Carving the Divine TV. My name is Yujiro Seki. I'm a director, writer, and the producer of the documentary Carving the Divine. Carving the Divine is about the Buddhist Sculptors of Japan, and I'm ready to present it for the first time in the world. But before I do so, I thought it would be a great idea to introduce basic concept of Buddhism and the history of Buddhism, so that when you guys finally watch my documentary, you guys can watch it at the maximum value. With that being said, I would like to introduce this crazy intelligent guy. He is kind enough to come back to our show time after time. Welcome back, Frederic Hewett. Welcome.
Whew. Thank you, Yuji. Hello, world. I'm excited to be back on your program.
Awesome. So we have a lot to cover today, so we're gonna dive directly into the question. But last time we talked about the Kamakura School of Thought, and we basically learned about people had a difficult times because of the warfare and a lot of disease and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's right. That was part of a popular trend back then. People believed in the latter day of the law, which was prophesied by the founding Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, that basically several thousand years after his passing, the belief in Buddhism would weaken and society would collapse into degeneracy. So people in Japan at that time period believed that the end of time was near. So people were earnestly seeking salvation. But today's topic?
Oh, okay. Now we're gonna dive into today's topic. So we're gonna talk details on each Buddhist sect from Kamakura period from now on. So today we're gonna talk about the Jodo Shu. So what is Jodo Shu and why Jodo Shu is so important?
Yes, Jodo Shu is the Pure Land school of Buddhism. And its origins go far back in China, but it became popularized in Japan during the Kamakura period by a monk named Honen. Honen, he was born in the mid-1100s, 12th century. He was part of a privileged family. His father actually was assassinated as part of that political strife between warring factions, and his family sent him to be a monk for his own protection. And he went to the monasteries in Mount Hiei to study Tendai Buddhism. During that time, Honen, he grew into his 20s, and he didn't feel that what he was being taught offered the solutions to the social problems of his day. He traveled to other temples in Nara and Kyoto, and he studied all sects of Buddhism, but he felt that the hierarchy of the religious structure, they made it the barriers too high for common people to be saved. And he was really seeking a practical one-path solution for everybody. And he found that in the writings of a Chinese religious writer, Shan Tao, who taught that just by chanting the name of Amitabha Buddha and showing sincere faith towards him dwelling in the pure land of Western paradise, that all people would be admitted into that land and be saved from this world of suffering. And Honen, he taught the concept of mercy, deriving from Hongan, the Amitabha's primary vow, that anybody that believed in him and sought him would be washed of all past karma, so that no matter what, people could attain salvation. This is what they call tariki, which is relying on outside power. Honen, he thought, because most major schools, they taught that you practice in a certain way, and that you go through several steps to reach enlightenment. But he felt that most common people could not it was too many barriers. So he simplified it. Nangyo was the way I just mentioned. He pushed people towards Igyo, which is the easy path, which just is based on our faith, chanting Nam Amida Butsu, devotion to Amitabha Buddha. His message, it drew a large following from common people that had previously been ignored by religious circles. You have commoners, peasants, merchants, criminals, prostitutes, all segments of society that were told that by chanting the Amitabha's name, they were guaranteed salvation. And he attracted a large following, and even among upper class society as well. And the established schools of Buddhism, they were startled by this development, and they told Honen to stop, which he didn't. And he and his followers were all banned and exiled to different parts of Japan to try and break up the Pure Land school. However, wherever they all went, they kept preaching to the local people in the respective regions, and the influence continued to grow. Honen, he was forgiven by the central government in about the beginning of the 1200s. He was invited back to Kyoto after about 5 years in exile, and he wrote one last treatise before his death, just summarizing his beliefs into one page. And it was just a declaration that all people are equally capable of being saved by sincere acceptance of Amitabha's mercy. So in a nutshell, that's the history and philosophy of Pure Land.
Wow, that sounds like so different from what I've heard previously. Awesome. So great. We learned a lot today. So if you think this information is useful, make sure to subscribe this YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and like me on my Facebook. So that's how we do it in the 21st century.
That's right, Yuji.
So awesome. So I will see you guys next time. See you.
Yes. Thank you, Yuji. I'll see you next time.